sloppy paying echo. Oh, Jesus. Hold on.
How's that? I've turned off all the... Ah, I know what it was. We're hearing a double delay. We should be all right now. Can you let me know we're all right? We're working, we're getting echo delays. Yes, there's loads of delays built into this thing. Good, nice. We're all working, yeah, great. Sorry guys, the thing is, I do this every week and it's really complicated I've got 4 cameras running. I've got multiple microphones and sound sources coming everywhere, and it's a nightmare. But so what we're talking about today, we're talking about this thing, which is the Boss GX-100. Now, I haven't been so excited over a piece of gear for God knows how long. This thing is unbelievably good. So I just thought I'd change today's live stream to cover what's going on here. So yeah, the sound that I programmed up is all coming from the GX-100. There's nothing else, there's no other processing anywhere else, so the only sounds we're going to be using today is coming off of this. Just so you know as well, there's a couple of videos that I'm going to be doing a couple of videos on the GX-100 about how to program patches and stuff, but what I thought I'd do today is to start from a preset that's built inside the GX-100 that Boss have created, that that comes with the initial settings, and then sort of improve it. Now, I've been quite impressed actually. Let me go back to the unit. It's there. I've been quite impressed with it because most of the time when you get presets on digital bits of gear like this, they're normally a bit naff, and what the company are trying to do is to sort of show off what the unit can do. I mean, most of the time the presets are completely unusable in a band or recording situation, but I think Boss have done a really good job with this, and a lot of the presets are really usable, or really usable with just very few sort of tweaks. So I know we've got loads and loads of questions already, but what I thought we'd do is let's start from initial patch and then sort of program some stuff up, and then we'll see how we can get it to work. But let's start from the initial patch that comes with the GX-100. If I wind this all the way back. Now I just want to explain a couple of things about it as well. I'm sure loads of you have sort of seen this on the internet with other people reviewing it, but it's completely touchscreen. So if I go into the effects, we can touch the screen and control all of the parameters by the touchscreen. Now, what else they do is this. Now, this is the app for your sort of mobile device. You can load this on iPhones, Androids. I've got it on my iPad at the moment, so because it's a nice bigger screen. And again, all of the parameters are editable from the iPad app or from the phone apps or whatever you're using. Now, what you can also buy for this thing, I can't cut to it because if I cut it, you just see this little blue light here. There's a little Bluetooth adapter that you can buy for the unit, and if you plug that in, that means that you can control everything wirelessly. Otherwise, you can plug a USB lead into it and control stuff like that. But to be honest, if you're out at a gig, I think a lot of the things that you can edit are all on the screen. You don't really need to connect to a mobile device. It's really intuitive, it's really simple to program, and it just sounds amazing, I think. So what I thought I'd do today, because it's always really hard looking at the screen, I thought we'd do it using the iPad app. Now let me just so you can see my big bald head. Right, so here's the first preset that you get with the unit. it's a really good drive sound. Now, if you look on the iPad app, if you look, you can't see my fingers, but you've got dual amps. You can run this like a GT1000, where you can run multiple amps and then run those amps either in series, parallel, however you want to do it, and then run all of them into the effects. So what I thought we'd do is just to actually, let me go back to the screen on the unit. Now let's start from this patch. I'm going to wind back the bass a bit. Now if you can't see that on the amp, let me go to here. Actually, let me just wind back the bass on here. Let me just do this. Right, here we go. Okay, and let me go back to the app. Now the thing that I really like, really like about the app is it's all drag and drop. So wherever you want to put an effect, you can. Now we were quite restricted with the GT1000. We're quite restricted to where we can have certain effects. Now with this, it's completely open. So if I scroll on over here, so as you can see, I'm moving the app just with my finger there. Now the first thing that I'm going to do with this is to add some compression to it. Now as you can see, where it says XComp, which is the second block in, it's blacked out. Now if I click on that, or just tap on it, that activates that particular effect. Now if I want to go and edit these effects full screen, I could push this knob view, and then we go into the actual parameters that are associated with that effect. So what I like to do with compressors, there's no point in having a 6:1 ratio on a compressor. Let's turn it back to 2:1, and I'm going to turn the direct mix up. Now what the direct mix is a parallel effect. So basically what you're doing, you're letting the clean signal through the compression. So as opposed to it being 100% compression, you're letting through some of the clean guitar signal. So that's always better. If you don't want to over compress stuff, you can do that with the GX-100, and you can do that with all of the compressors, and it makes a massive difference when you're using compression. So the initial sound sounded like this, and with the compressor, let's go back. Okay, now if I scroll all the effects to the left, you can see how many effects we've got. Now if I want to remove an effect out of the effects chain, all I've got to do is to click on the effect that I want to move and just drag it up, and I get this this warning, you know, delete this, are you sure, and click OK. I don't need the flange, just get rid of that, and let's get rid of the, actually I'm going to leave the chorus there because we can do something with that later on. Now we've got all these different reverb and delay effects. As you can see, we've got delay, delay plus, delay analog, space echo, delay shimmer. Now the one that I'm going to use for this is this delay plus. So all I do is just click on the effects at the top and just drag it in to where I want. Right, now we can choose all the different delay types inside this delay plus effect. So if I click up here where it says type, and I'm going to choose pan delay. Now this is what Boss call their ping pong delay. Okay, so pan, what that means is that when I play a note, you're getting the delay that's going to be bouncing from side to side. Okay, we don't need anywhere near that amount of delay, and the high cut as well. What I like to do with delays and reverbs is just to remove some of the high frequencies. What that enables you to do is your guitar will fit a lot better in the mix, and you're not going to be clouding out other instruments. So let's just bring that back to about 1 kHz. Right, now you can hear we've got a much darker delay sound. And if I go back, right now let's go to the reverb, click on the reverb, Now with reverbs, what I like sort of halls and plates. So if I click on the room up here, let's choose plate. Let's turn up the effects level. And the time up to about 2 seconds. Okay, let's go back to the amps. Click on this knob view. I love the name actually. I love the way they've called this knob view. For anyone with a childish sense of humour. Let's go to presence. I'm going to turn the presence up on each amp actually. Right. So I'm using amp 1 at the moment. If I click down to amp 2, I can edit that as well. Go to page 2, turn up the presence. Now to me, let me go back to myself. To me, that is an awesome sort of hard rock overdrive sound. That it just sounds. If you listen to like how much clarity, actually, I don't even know if this is going to come across on YouTube. But if I play like, you know, like a 5/6 string chord with distortion. Every single note is ringing out. It just sounds absolutely brilliant. Right, let's get to some questions. Where are we? By the way, if you're not into sort of heavy, sort of distorted sounds, I've got a video coming out either Monday or Tuesday that's going to be all about clean sounds. Right, where are we? Much better. My echo went away. It's still more easy than mixing a band live. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it is actually. I've done both. I'm not sure it is. Imagine mixing a band live and then playing at the same time. Matt says hi Matt. Aristotle's I mean mixing well, yeah, obviously. Bruce Brooks, still waiting for mine, pre-ordered 2 weeks ago, coming early April, I hope. Yeah, I didn't realise, I don't actually know if they're properly out in the shops yet or not, but this thing is just brilliant. What's it competing against? Rafael Jesus says, well, it's basically competing against the Line 6 Helix Stomp, I think it is, which is the bigger one with the multiple pedals on it. I will say there's a massive difference between, and I know I'm a bit of a Boss fanboy, but there is a massive difference between playing something with this AIRD technology that Boss use and something like the Helix, which is quite an outdated technology, and they're quite old units. The immediacy that you get when you're playing through something like the GX-100 or the GT-1000 feels like you're playing through a valve amp. Some of the the Line 6 effects, it's older technology. It's you do get some latency, and you do get latency with this. I mean, it's just, it has to happen because it's a digital processing, but you do not feel it with this AIRD equipped pedals that the Boss make. Where are we? Good evening, Lee. Thomas Baron, Line 6 Podgo maybe, yeah. No, not the Pod. Actually, the Podgo, I guess the Podgo in a sort of way, because the Podgo has got an expression pedal on it. So yeah, it could be. Happy Friday from Thomas. Lee says, I'm still struggling with the dotted 8 thing, trying to get a U2 bad delay. I just can't seem to crack it. Well, maybe we should try that with this. Aristotle's Duca says, Lee Wild, then it is up to actual playing. You have to play really steady and simple rhythm on time, otherwise it doesn't sound right. That's very true, actually. If yeah, it's you've got to play. So if you want to do the dotted eighth thing, you've got to play quarter notes, and the quarter notes are then, or the dotted eighth notes then react with the quarter note playing. So if you just think, if you just play like a 1, 2, 3, 4, your dotted eighth should be bouncing off of that. Retro Rick says, can you show us fake scenes using manual assignments? Yes, I will do that. But I'll do that in a separate video if that's all right. I've got a couple of videos coming out demonstrating it and creating patches. And funny enough, I did a video today, or I recorded a video today, using this. And let's say that I replaced some tracks. So basically it's a video on how well it works in a studio, how well it records and fits in a mix. And I recorded some guitars with the original track, had that matchless amp over there, which is a £4,000 amplifier. I preferred the sound on the GX-100, which says something. Where are we? Okay. Daniel Rose says, I like it direct and 4 cable. No need to mess with IRs. They're all good. They are good. I haven't even put any IRs into it. To be honest, so this turned up late yesterday afternoon. So I turned it on today, and today's my first day with it, and it's so easy to use. David Olsen said, pulled the trigger on this one, on one this week, and it arrived yesterday. Oh, nice one, David. How you getting on with it? Peter Lambert says, what's not helping is you can hear the string noise. Well, I can't help that, mate. That is, if you want to hear me talk, which not a lot of people do, you're gonna have to put up with the string noise. It's just the way it is. It's a live video, unless you want me to unplug microphones and switch microphones on and off all the time. I can't do that. So we're getting a rough idea of how it's working. If you want to see an in-depth exactly how it sounds, then follow the videos on Monday, from Monday. Okay, how's the ambient reverbs on the GX-100? We'll have a look, shall we? Should we have a look? Let's let me go to a clean patch. Let me find. I programmed in this patch earlier, actually. Let me go back to there. There we go. Oh no, I need to go back. Now, where did I store it? Okay. Now, something that I've been really impressed with is how easy it is to get a good clean sound. Now, I don't think it's that easy to get a great clean sound out of the GT1000, and it is possible, and it does do a great job, but I think you have to work on it. With this, it's really simple. Okay, so there's my basic patch. Let me go into the editor. Right, if I go to my, is it reverbs you're interested in? Let me have a look. Ambient reverbs, yeah, okay. Okay, so we've got a shimmer reverb. Let's load that in. Let's load it in before that reverb, and I'm just going to turn the plate off. Now, what I tend to do with shimmer reverbs, because I think the shimmer effect is it's quite subtle sometimes, or if you make it, especially the Boss type of shimmer, I think you need another reverb after it, but I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so we're on the shimmer. Let's turn the effect level up. I like to get like a shimmer sound like that, and then add the reverb afterwards. Now, if I turn that off, we'll see. We can see what other reverbs are in the Reverb Plus. Let me go back to page 1 and turn the effect level up. So pretty good, I would say. Let me go back to myself. Okay, let me explain a little bit about the difference between the GX-100 and the GT-1000. So the GT, they have a lot of the same effects in them. The GT-1000 has a higher processing. So I think the GT-1000 is 32-bit, 96 kilohertz processing, I think. This one is 24-bit, 48, I think. So it's an extra layer of sort of complex A to D conversion that goes on with the GT-1000. This is simpler. Can you tell the difference? I can't. I think it sounds absolutely killer. Where are we? Leonis Alpha says latency on a GT-1000 is something like 0.2 milliseconds. Feels like it has none. Exactly. At least to me it does. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's the GT-1000 and this are the only multi effects sort of processor units that I like. I can't get on with things like Kempers and even the newer DSP Core Cortex. Can't get on with it at all. Also that does include the IR200 as well. I think that feels great as well. Where are we? Mike Walt says, I've already pre-ordered the GX-100, can't wait to get it. Excellent. Okay, what do you think of this versus the Core? If I'm honest, if I was going to buy this or a Core, I would buy this. I think it's so much easier to use, especially with the touchscreen. I think this shows the way that Boss are going, because Boss are always known for with their multi processors, you know, things like the GT-1000. They're known that they're a little bit complicated, you know, to drive just using the screen. It's quite fiddly. You know, you can go into an editor and it becomes easier, but this now is an absolute breeze. It's honestly, you can get great sounds up in no time at all. Where are we? Wiggle your nose and the nose will be, hold on. David Olsen says, I'm staring at it and waiting for your free patches. Seriously, haven't heard much of a chance yet to dive in. Yeah, I'll do a bunch of patches. Wiggle your nose, wiggle your nose and the noise will be gone. You might have to explain that one, Michael. Brainy Crunches says, I'm trying to switch off the preamp and switch on the S&R in the same time. I can't seem to find the right assignment. S&R. Can you tell me what you mean by S&R? Let's, without abbreviating things. Hollywood Actress, do you think the GX-100 sounds like the Katana and the GT-1000? By this I mean they sound very similar. In summary, they have the Boss tone to them. No, I don't. I think the Katana, the Katana, the GT-1000, and this sound very, very different from each other. The GX-100 and the GT-1000 sound, you know, quite similar. The Katana, I know what you mean. It's got that sort of Boss sheen to it, and the Katana's got that as well. But honestly, this thing is the nuts. Where are we? David Olson, PS Re 202, the RE 202. Anyone? Off topic, I know, but possibly old news. No, it's it's one coming. I've got one coming, David. I'm going to be doing some videos on it. I think it's really exciting. I think you know the old Space Echo is a fantastic unit, and if they've done a really good job on it like they have with this, I think it'd be killer. Brainy Crunches, I also think that the effect quality of the GT1000 is way better. Stiffness of the sound chain aside, interesting. Retro Rick, can you demo the Bluetooth audio streaming by playing along with the backing track? I can't at the moment, but I will do that. I've got my iPad is just set up for this, so I'd have to download a streaming service. I have a Helix floor. Rafael Jesus says, I have a Helix floor, and before I had a Stomp, and it might not be realistic, but as someone that has played electric mostly through multi-effects, the line 6 stuff is like ear candy. Yeah, no, the line 6 stuff is great. It sounds great. It sounds really, really good. It's a feel thing for me. It's a feel thing. Brainy Crutches, BT Bluetooth adapter music streaming sounds good. Hollywood Actress, Raphael, I think the competition, anything in the £500 price range, so Helix Headrush, Amp Hero, Higher, and Nux Modeler multi effects. But patch switching with Bluetooth takes ages. Well, you're not really going to be patch switching with Bluetooth. It's an editing system. This thing. No, that thing. Let me go back to. There we go. Yeah, it's meant for editing, not for patch changes. Yeah, all the patch changing you're going to be doing on top of the unit. Let me go back. Where am I? There. Dusty Nuts for sale. He's got them for sale. Says it's interesting how many people still prefer hardware even if it's digital versus plugins. Without a doubt, I way prefer hardware to plugins. There's certain plugins I think which are really good, like the Scuffum. But the thing about hardware units is that all the processing is inside the unit. If you're dealing with a computer and then that your computer's running, especially with PCs, your computer's running multiple other stuff, it's going to be troublesome. At some point it will be troublesome. With this, all the processing's inside it. You're not going to have any problems. But do you know what? When Guitar Rig came out, which was we've got to be talking 20 years ago now, I used to take a laptop and Guitar Rig and the little Guitar Rig interface, which had a expression pedal on it, out live, and that was a scary. We had some scary crashes. Where are we? Official Mariano J. Brasish. I say hi from Miami, Florida. Nice. I bet that's nice over there at the moment. I've been following you on your YouTube channel. Very good videos. A lot of information and experience. Thanks for sharing it. Cheers, mate. I'm glad you're into it. By the way, guys, if you're not a subscriber of the Studio Rats YouTube channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and all that sort of stuff, and hopefully, well, you'll I'll be doing more videos on the GX-100, so you'll be notified as soon as those videos come out. Where are we? Rob Killian, I've noticed the Bluetooth adapter for the GX-100 is super slow. Seems like it's loading the entire tone library with each refresh. Yeah, I know what you mean. Let me show you this. So if I change patches, if I just change one patch on the GX-100, so actually using the hardware, it's loading up. So I can play that patch, but right now it's loaded on the software. On the software. But that is the unit talking to Bluetooth. It's don't think of the editor as anything else apart from an editor. You're not going to be changing patches using Bluetooth. You're going to be changing the patches using the GX-100. To me, I prefer a big screen that a big touch screen that I can use to edit the patches. So that's why, I'd use that. Where are we? David Olsen says, I'm wondering whether this is a precursor to the touchscreen GX-1000 flagship. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if they're going to make anything that sounds better than this, it would be amazing. Aristotle's Duca says the sample rate means that the GT1000 is faster with even less latency. Bruce Brooks, differences in sound quality between the GT1000 might possibly show up in high-end studio setting, but not in a live situation. Absolutely. And I mean, you'll see on Monday or Tuesday when I release the next video, like how well it works in a track in the studio. Dusty Nuts, only a matter of time before our old pal China cracks fractal audio source code. Probably true. Rob Killian says, send and receive. Okay, can you ask that whole question again? Sorry, mate. Otherwise, I've got to try and find your question. Okay, I'd love to see a comparison of the new Space Echo pedal versus the Space Echo effect on the GX-100. Yep, okay, I can do that. When the RE200, whatever it's called, 202 comes to me, I'll do that. Everyone's raving about the 202. Strymon will be sweating a bit. Well, Strymon, even though the Strymon effects are really good, Strymon's getting a little bit old in the tooth as well. But how old's the timeline? The timeline's got to be 10 years old, probably more than that now. Let me get a patcher. Where are we? Everyone is sorry. Do you prefer the iPad app to the desktop app? I haven't used the desktop app, to be honest. So I've just been using the iPad app, so I haven't tried that yet, but I will do. DMAX says, I never thought about latency much lately until I tried the IR200 and it blew me away. I've been playing the IR200 with my pedals and thinking it's great, but may have to try this out now. Well, I recently did, a couple of days ago, I did a video on a silent stage pedal board, and I was using the IR200. Personally, I'm going to be taking this out because I think this is a great silent stage pedal board. It's compact, it sounds great, it's really quiet, it's brilliant. Where are we? Evening, Keith Milner says, evening guys, just joining, sorry I'm late, but had an evening out with friends for reference. It's 1:30 AM here. That's late. I think Keith's over in Singapore at the moment. John Wallace says, I've got the MX-5 head rush. How do you think the GX-100 compares? Would it be a significant improvement? John, you've got to see my video on the head rush. I did not like that thing. It's got aliasing all over it, and until they can fix that sort of stuff, this is to me is a vast improvement. Mick Walt says, I had the R200 for a minute and loved it, but returned it when I found out about the GX. Oh, this sounds pretty much the same. There are, yes, I hear what you're saying. There are, I think the IR200 still has that higher end processing in it. But yes, you get the similar sort of amps. What's also good about this, it's got a send and return in it, which you can put anywhere. So if you've got a distortion pedal that you really like, or a reverb pedal, or well, any pedal, compressor pedal, you can put it in the effects loop, and you can actually move that effects loop around anywhere in the signal chain. So for instance, if you've got a compressor, you want to put the compressor right at the front, you can do that. If you've got a reverb, you want to put it right at the end, you can do that as well, and anywhere in between. Evening guys. But where are we? Keith says, no, John, no. Keith says, I'll be interested. Is there any discernible difference between the GT1000, the GTX100, and the GTX100's 24-bit? Should be more. I explained that earlier, Keith. Actually, if you mean the GX100, the GX is 24-bit. The GT is 48. No, it's 32-bit. So it's a bit better sort of processing. Celio, hello from Brazil. I just got mine. Looking forward to finish work to turn on my GX100. Have you tried the GT1000? Did you feel any difference on sound? Personally, Celio, yes, I've done lots of videos on the GT1000. If you subscribe to the channel and you go to the playlist, the GT1000 playlist, you'll see loads of videos there on it. It's a great unit. Personally, I prefer this. Okay, 2K says, hi, how would you incorporate the Blue Guitar Amp 1 with the GX100? Could it control the Amp 1? Thanks. That's a really good question. You could. So you could go out of the... It's got a line out. Yes, you could. You could just use the effects of the GX100 and maybe go through the effects, send and return, and that would work really, really well. So you'd be bypassing all of the preamp circuits or the preamp models inside the GX100. Leonis Alpha says, I loved your silent stage pedalboard build. Hate silent stages though. Yeah, don't we all? Yeah. Luckily, I don't have to do them since I'm not a pro. Sound on stage just feels like it should. I wonder why everyone wants it so much. Do you know what annoys me about silent stages is there's always a bloody drummer with a big kit smacking away. Basically, the reason is it's just, well, it's so they, you know, the engineer can control the sound a lot better. They don't have to deal with sort of lots of sort of feedback issues and stuff. You don't have to deal with, you know, the guitar amps coming through the vocal microphones and all that sort of stuff. Personally, yeah, I mean, I've been doing silent stages for years, and yeah, I don't like them. It's much nicer when you've got like a proper amp on stage, but it's just the way it is now. And because the technology's up there, and you know, we've got to that stage, it just feels that every bloody singer wants it that way. Where are we? Nick Jones says, how does the GX100 compare to a Kemper Axe-Fx Quad Cortex? Okay, so I haven't had an Axe-Fx. I've tried an Axe-Fx. I've had a couple of Kempers, and I've had a Quad Cortex. So you're listing units that can do a lot more, as in the amp profiling. So you can't obviously profile with the GX100. Okay, the Kemper Axe-Fx and Quad Cortex. I tried an older Axe-Fx. I haven't tried one of the newer ones. To me, they have a certain amount of latency, like, which you can hear and feel. It's more you can feel it. The Boss and any of the Boss products with the AIRD technology, you can't feel the latency because they've got the latency down so low that it just feels like you're playing through a valve amp. It's just immediately responsive, which you don't get. Personally, I don't feel you get with things like the Kemper. Again, the Kemper's old now. Axe-Fx and the Quad Cortex, especially the Quad Cortex. Actually, I don't know if they've improved it recently, but I had one of the first ones that came out, and sold it quite soon after that. Okay, Keith says, but is there a discernible difference between the audio quality of the GT1000 32-bit and the GT and the GX100 24-bit? No, there's no discernible difference. Yeah, I hope I don't get in trouble by Boss for saying that, but no, there is no difference to me. 24-bit is still great. You know, we're way past 16-bit and even 8-bit. God, remember 8-bit. David Milner says, I tried it through an amp at the music store and it sounded horrible. Yes, it will. So far, I haven't been able to get anything to sound like the YouTube clips. Oh, that's interesting. Tell me, David, are you still trying to plug it through an amp? I mean, you can put this through an amp. What you need to do, let me just show you a couple of things. I don't know if it's, is it possible on here? On the actual, let me just see. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be possible. Let me go to this. If you go into in-out settings and you click on output select, actually I'll use a touchscreen. Right, now we can choose all the different how can I put EQ profiles, I guess, of different amps. So we've got loads of different profiles of their JC range, the Katana range, tube combo, 4x12 tube combos, bass amps. So you can do that, but what I'd recommend you do, if I come out of this, let's go back into in-out settings. Not there. What was I thinking? No, I'm being stupid. Let's go to effects and go into the amp model. Go to knob view. Okay, now I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Where's my zoom? Let me zoom in. Here we go. Okay, now if you're plugging into an amp, let's go across some pages. Can we? Yeah, there we go. So if you go to SP type, which is speaker type, which is this bit here, you turn it all the way to the left. Turn it to off. Now what that's doing, let me zoom out. Whoops, wrong way. That'll do. Now what that's doing is that turns off the speaker modelling. So if you're going into a speaker, basically you don't want to run something with an IR into a speaker, because you've already shaped the sound of your guitar sound to compensate the fact that there's not a speaker there. Now what you're doing is you're emulating a speaker. If you emulate a speaker and then put that into a speaker, it's going to sound very dull, and it's not going to have any clarity at all. So turn that off and use some of the profiles in the output settings. Where are we? Brainy Crunches says, I'm using the GX-100 in 4 cable with a DSL-20. Tried this setup with the Nux MG30, Headrush MX5, HX effects as well. They all coloured the sound of the amp and changed the feel. Not the GX-100. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean basically what you're doing with 4 cable method, you're running into your amp. Well, you're running through the unit. Then you're going into your amp. You're going out of the amp again into another, back into the digital processing. Out of that again, back into the amp. You've got like 2 sets of latency going on. That's why 4 cable method, especially with digital effects, it does change the feel of the amp. But I'm glad it doesn't with the GX-100. Where are we? Just saw your custom shop. Just saw your custom shop telly for sale on Facebook. Yeah. Do you know? I thought of that today. I'll show you this one. Let me go and get it. The thing is, I've got loads of. I'm a bit of a telly fan, and this one I've had for a while now, and it's a brilliant guitar. It weighs like nothing. And it's a really, 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 really good guitar. And recently I picked up this one, this thin line, and I can't put it down, to be honest. So it's like they're very similar in sort of sound and stuff. So I think one of them has got to go really at some point. But I'll definitely regret it with that one. John Wallace says, have you tried the GX-100 through the power amp in of the Katana? No, I haven't yet. It only turned up late yesterday, John. So literally I've just had today to play with it. But all of these things I'll be doing. Keith Milner says that is as expected. 24-bit is already way beyond human hearing. Keep on playing says Laney IRT Studio and GX100 best recording solution for the money. I'm deeply impressed with what you can do nowadays. Oh, brilliant! I'm yeah, really interested in trying it through using it in full cable method. I think that'd be really interesting. If through an amp, make sure you turn off the cab sim. Exactly, John. Yeah. Always. I've tried FRFR as well. Yep. Glenn DeLune creates the best patches for Boss. Line 6 Kemper multi-effects units. Oh, cheers, Lee. Thanks for bigging me up. Johan Hassan says, I always plug in my MFX into the effects return of an amp. Great result so far. Yes, nice one. Aristotle says, guitar speaker roll off at 5 kilohertz. Yep. So 6 kilohertz is already 10 dB quieter, which is a massive difference. And keep rolling so you may not hear any high frequencies. Yeah, basically, guitar frequencies, the majority of guitar frequency is, say, 200 hertz to about 4K. That's where, like, the majority of the frequencies are. So, yeah, exactly. If you want to... yeah, if you start playing around with like really ultra high frequencies on a guitar, it doesn't really work because we're so used to a guitar. The guitar speaker is that sort of frequency range. Keith Miller called me a telly slut. Yes, I'm a big telly fan. Okay, has anyone got any other GX100 questions or any other questions? If not, we'll call it a day and I can go and cook a barbecue because it's sunny outside. I'll do a bit more playing and then... Simon says, played my GT1000 out for the first time on Saturday. My main crunch is based on your ultimate crunch tone. Very glad that is available for the GX100 users now. Nice one. Lee Will says, and Paul creates amazing patches as well. Yes, I'll do some patches. I'll definitely do some patches for this. And get them up. I ordered the GX100 back ordered from blah blah blah. It's back ordered everywhere. Seems like a lot of people have them already. Yeah, I don't actually know. I don't know what the ordering situation is. It's probably very different in different countries. But anyway, okay. Let me go back to that first patch. Hear that again. Where are we? Exit. Right, I guess we are probably done. So yeah, if you've got any, if there's anything you want me to cover with the GX100, leave a note in the comments, and I'll get around to it, because it'd be good to know what people actually want. Out of this unit. Hollywood Actress says, Raphael, what is this about? Custom telly or for sale? Enjoy the sun, Paul. Cheers, Thomas. Yeah, so I'm selling my custom shop 52 telly. I'm thinking about selling it. Let's put it this way: if I get a good offer, I will. If I don't get a good offer, I'm just going to keep it because it's too good.